doesn't matter what you're going through
or what you have been through. Thank God it's fabulous. I'm Welda Paley.
And I'm Fasia Hilton.
Welcome.
Thank God it's fabulous.
Male nurses.
Patient comfort, values, and beliefs.
Thank God it's fabulous. What is cancer? What is your perception of cancer?
Well, today our guest will be sharing her story on living with cancer.
Thank God it's fabulous.
Friendship. What is a true friend? He's my friend. She's my friend. Can a male and a female be true friends?
What are the benefits of friendship? Are there true friends with benefits or not? How do you know somebody is a friend? What are the criteria? What are the requirements to have a friend?
Thank
God it's fabulous.
Well, today we are going to be talking about career choices.
Do you make career choices based on your habits, or things you love, or what's trending, or what would be your livelihood?
Is it going to be vocational or is it going to be higher education? What's your choice? It doesn't matter what you're going through
Or what you have been through. Thank God it's fabulous. I'm Welda Paley.
and I'm Fasia Hilton.
Welcome.
Thank God it's fabulous.
Male nurses.
Patient comfort, values, and beliefs.
Thank God it's fabulous. What is cancer? What is your perception of cancer?
Well, today our guest will be sharing her story on living with cancer.
Thank God it's fabulous.
Friendship. What is a true friend? He's my friend. She's my friend. Can a male and a female be true friends?
What are the benefits of friendship? Are there true friends with benefits or not? How do you know somebody is a friend? What are the criteria? What are the requirements to have a friend?
Thank
it's fabulous.
Well, today we are going to be talking about career choices.
Do you make career choices based on your habits, or things you love, or what's trending, or what would be your livelihood?
Is it going to be vocational or is it going to be higher education? What's your choice? matter what you're going through
or what you have been through, thank God is fabulous. I'm Welda Paley.
and I'm Fasia Hilton.
Welcome.
Thank God is fabulous. Male nurses.
Patient comfort, values, and beliefs.
Thank God is fabulous. What is cancer? What is your perception of cancer?
Well, today our guest will be sharing her story on living with cancer.
Thank God is fabulous.
Friendship. What is a true friend? He's my friend. She's my friend. Can a male and a female be true friends?
What are the benefits of friendship? Are there true friends with benefits or not? How do you know somebody is a friend? What are the criteria? What are the requirements to have a friend?
Thank God it's fabulous. Well, today we are going to be talking about career choices.
Do you make career choices based on your habits, or things you love, or what's trending, or what would be your livelihood?
Is it going to be vocational or is it going to be higher education? What's your choice? Oh, I can't hear you. Where's the volume?
Unmute. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another
Good
episode
evening.
of Thank God is Fabulous.
Oh,
And
it
as
is
always,
fabulous. Yes.
It doesn't matter what you're going through.
Or what you have been through.
Thank God
Thank God
is
it's
fabulous.
fabulous.
So it's very cold in Indianapolis today, and we're expecting
Extremely
that it's
cold.
gonna get
Whew, I'm coming from
colder.
outside and I am cold.
Yes, but nevertheless, we are here in the land of the living. That's how you know you're living. When you're cold like that, you have to go to work in the refrigerator. But that's America for us.
And you know how to cope with it. That is
Yep,
because that is part of
yep,
our talk today. If you know how to
yep.
cope with
If you
with
know
certain
how to cook.
adversity,
Yes.
yes.
So today we're going to jump right in because this topic is very broad, is very wide, and it has so many
Very.
babies and pieces and parts. So we're going to try to put it out there in series because we sure cannot cover this topic, maturity, in 1 hour. That means we will be the geniuses of maturity. And that won't be possible because we will speed through it and you may not understand some of the things that are important to learn about it. So we're going to take our time. We will break it out into series because there are 6 different types of maturity. I guess some of you will be like, what? Yes, there is. So today we're going to deal with just one aspect because that one aspect, somebody said my volume is low. Thank you, Philip. Well, on here I'm on my Mac, so what am I doing? Yeah. How is it now, Philip?
I hope
Is
my volume is okay.
It's okay? First here, you can hear me all right?
It's okay on my end.
Okay. So we're gonna deal with it in little parts and parcel until we give you all the information that we think you can have to understand the topic because the topic is no joke. Okay, so maturity have 6 different types. So some of you are so quick to tell somebody you're immature, but you don't even understand what aspect they are acting immature in. So before you define somebody as being immature, I'm going to give you the work to do now, because there's not just one area. There is the emotional maturity, there is the physical maturity, there is the spiritual maturity, there is the mental maturity, there is the I call the mental one. Then there is the decision
So you
making
have the physical, the
maturity.
emotional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Decision making. Yeah, I got all 6 of them now. So you can't just see somebody acting in one area and determine that they are immature. So today we're going to help you understand it little by little. We're going to go at the emotional, because in the emotional, got several different types. There is an emotional state maturity. Then there's levels of maturity. Then there's maturity continuum. So maturity got maturity. Then maturity got the emotional maturity got stages. So it is no joke, but we will take our time to dwell into this topic. So Fasia, if you want to just take us through the word maturity, so we can kick it off, and then we go into all the different aspects of it.
Yes. When we said we were going to do this topic, I was driving. I was like, like you said, we use this word loosely,
Yes.
but the definition states that maturity starts with taking responsibility when things go wrong. If you are able to take responsibility when you have done something wrong, that pretty much is what maturity is.
And guess what?
But
That
most
is
times
just
when one, yes,
yes.
one definition.
Yep.
But most
And
times when we
also,
talk about
Fasia,
maturity, we think about age.
yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it is not necessarily that.
Nope. Ain't got nothing to do with that.
Mm-mm.
And that one level that she just talked about, the emotional responsibility, is actually one of the 6 levels of emotional maturity. Just imagine, that's a whole different stage of maturity, and that's just one level in it, taking emotional responsibility. That's just one level. So if you don't understand it, I would beg your indulgence. Don't call anybody immature, because it's too deep. It's very deep. All right?
Yeah, no, that was just a broad definition of the word maturity. Mm-hmm. Now, when we talk about emotional maturity, this talk about the psychological maturity. Okay, this is when the person is emotionally mature, means that someone is able to regulate, to control, and express his or her feelings in a desirable manner, just as it is acceptable in society.
And you know that which you just said is one of the 4 states of emotional maturity. So the maturity, that's how big the umbrella for maturity is.
It's huge.
Huge is an understatement.
Yeah.
Well, we
I was looking at things that were giving me a headache.
I'm telling you, because when you say this is it, then you find out that's just a part. It's not it. It's a part.
It's just a part. Just a tip of the iceberg, yes.
I'm like, excuse me? But today we'll fix a lot of things. We will talk about a lot of things. Because just knowing that there are types, there are stages, there are continuums, there are well-being of the mind that leads you to whatever stage you find yourself in, that means it's way too big. So before you determine that somebody's immature, you need cutlass, you need hoe, and you need the lawn mower and the leaf blower. You need all of them to help you cut this grass
You need it
because
all.
it's that
Yes.
vast. It is that vast. Okay. So, like we said, we're going to do maturity and emotional maturity this Friday. Come next Friday, we'll do physical maturity. Come the other Friday, we will do social maturity. Come the other Friday, we'll do intellectual maturity. Come the other Friday, we'll do ethical and moral maturity. Come the other Friday, we'll do the decision-making
We have
maturity.
spiritual.
Look, it's a lot. So we will take our time.
It's a lot,
So
yeah.
she gave you a gist of what emotional maturity is. Because a lot of time we look at the physical to determine maturity. Oh, you rusty man, you rusty woman like you acting childish. You're strictly in the biological side. And that alone doesn't make up maturity. Because we think in our mind, the older you are in age, your wisdom is supposed to be. That is not true. Wisdom doesn't necessarily come with
It's
age.
not true at all.
So that means that doesn't define your level of maturity. You can even have a PhD. You still will not have certain level of maturity. Somebody be like, what? Yes, listen. If I got a PhD and I don't know much about the street, when you put me on the street side, you think I can function like I got some sense? No, I'll function like I don't know what to do now. But I got a PhD. But that PhD is specific to what is in. And if you put me in that area, oh, you will say, damn, she's brilliant. But if you put me on the street, you'll be like, oh, she's so dumb and not even funny. Don't you have common sense? And people tend to throw that around. Don't you have common sense to know that you're not supposed to do this? Well, if I did not brew or modeled in the area that I'm in, there's no way I know how to function in that area. And you put me on the street and people yelling, and I'm not supposed to yell because people will include me as part of the people who yelling, and I start yelling, you would think that you don't got no sense. You see people just yelling, you just join inside and start yelling. But that's a different level of maturity that I don't have for that area. But if you put me in another area, I will function. So please, let's take our time today to really understand it before we use it. Especially us Liberians. We like to throw things around that we do not understand and use it like we know what we're talking about. So today we can help you. So when you open your mouth to say something to somebody, you understand the volume of what you're saying and you got a clue. So you don't go and look crazy, okay? Thank God for Fabulous, because now we're bringing you the information to make you powerful. So let's go to the first part of it. Let's go to the emotional maturity. This is 6 stages. The first level is what Fasia talked about, emotional responsibility. The second level is honesty of your emotional feelings. Because a lot of time we're not honest about our emotional feelings. We feel one way, we say we feel another way. But it takes maturity for you to stand there and say, I am hurting right now. What you said to me really cut me deep. And be clear about it, not be upset with the person who said it. Because maybe they're saying the facts, but you are not ready to hear that fact. So emotionally, you are unbalanced, but that doesn't mean what they said to you is a lie. It may be the truth of whatsoever, but you emotionally cannot handle it because you're not mature to be able to handle that emotional feelings. Then there is emotional openness. What we pray that every man will have with his wife and every wife will have with her husband. That emotional openness. Baby, I know you make love to me, but you are not satisfying me. Instead of to shut up, the man get up and start snowing and you get mad. That's maturity.
Yes,
that's a whole different level of maturity.
that's a hard one to do.
Yes, it's a whole different
Yes.
level of maturity. But that's when you and your partner have to be able to talk to that level for you to be able to say, oh, baby, I ain't come yet. Keep working, you know?
And for some, for some, it's harder. They are able to be open with their friends, their colleagues, but in the relationship that matters, they clamp down or they are shy.
So they're immature
And that,
about
that
that part.
happens to the best of us.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. And that's immature too. Can you imagine that? Somebody
it
who say,
is.
I'm 50 years old, I'm a responsible woman for myself, cannot express themselves open with their partner. Can you imagine that? So that means emotional openness, they are immature. But they don't even know this. They don't even consider this part of their life as being immature.
They
They're
don't
like,
consider that,
I
no.
just don't want to hurt his feelings. No, but you're hurting your own feelings. That means you have not come to the sense of emotional responsibility yet. Because you cannot even identify what your problem is to tell another person, this is my problem. Okay? Then there is emotional assertiveness. These are just the levels of emotional maturity. Emotional assertiveness. Somebody come and bring dirt into your home and you don't want it, but you're like, I don't want to hurt their feelings, so I just tell them, put it right there. No, take it back. I really do not want it. That is clear cut. But we think that, that was too harsh. No, you're just expressing assertiveness. This is what you want. You're not going to sugarcoat it. You're not going to try to fix it because you are assertively mature. You can state it the way it is and have no remorse about it because that's exactly what it is. If you lie to that person, lie to yourself, the next thing you don't want to see them again because now you think about what happened the last time because you did not address it. Then there is...
Yeah, that's being transparent and blunt. Transparency.
But see, come to think about it, we call them by different names. So we don't even know their real position. We say the person
Exactly,
is too blunt,
yeah.
the person is too outspoken. But that's emotional assertiveness. That's maturity. That's a different level of maturity.
It is.
To be able to do that.
And
Then there is
this is it's hard for a lot of people. It's hard.
But for see, those are the
It's
same people
very
that say
hard.
I'm mature. Those are the same people that say I'm mature. But the things that inside maturity, that ain't hard. Then how are you mature? So one of our people put across here, maturity refers to the state of being fully developed, all grown, both physically and mentally. It comprises qualities such as responsibility, self-control, emotional stability, and the ability to make sound judgment. In terms of personal growth, maturity involves gaining a deeper understanding of oneself and others, displaying empathy, respect, and being able to handle difficult situations, the grace and wisdom. Maturity is often associated with age, but is not solely by that. Yes, you are so right. And that's why we say
And that's the operative word. It is often associated with age.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that if you are 50 years old, that you are mature.
That's
You know,
not
when I was doing the research, there was a study in Britain
yes
about maturity of gender. So women are mature at the age of 32, or most women are considered mature at the age of 32. But men are considered mature at the age of 43. That's an 11-year difference.
Yeah.
And I mean, and we all know, I'm not being gender biased, but we all know about that women are more mature, or we mature faster or earlier than men.
Yeah. And we even see that in boys and girls.
Yes.
We see that in boys and girls. A 14-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, they're on two different levels for 14 years old.
Two different levels.
The girl will come across more mature in different aspects than the boy.
Yes.
You know, he may come developmentally, physically, he looks mature because the body of a young man starts to spread and change that shows that, oh, he's a big boy. But necessarily his emotional, his intellectual hasn't gone to that peak yet, unlike a girl. Some girls will come in late with their formative of their breast and things like that. But their minds is on a whole different level at the age of 14. Because remember, back in the days, we were getting married at 12. They were marrying us all at 12. Boys were not getting married at 12. It were girls that were being married out at 12. And now some people fighting to try to bring it back. Can you imagine that? They say they want us to go back to the ways of our forefathers, where 13-year-old girls, 12-year-old girl can be allowed to get married. And now when you do that today, we'll call you pedophile.
I think that's too early.
Yes.
That is just
But
too early.
that is what our people before us look at. They look at the maturity of the girl's body and say she was ready to have a husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there were other aspects of her that had not developed yet. So they were like, okay, let her get married. Can you imagine that one aspect, you take it and you make a whole decision on it? But anyway, not to stray away from the emotional maturity, there is the emotional understanding. You know, a lot of time somebody saying something to us, we're caught up in our feelings, and then we don't understand where the person is coming from. We're already mad. And when your emotions are that high, to understand it's a different level. But when you are able to understand, even though you may not agree, that's maturity.
Yes. And that comes with active listening. You know, when a person is explaining something to you, most times, most people, yes, they're listening, but they're not paying attention. They're trying to formulate what response to give you instead of absorbing what the person is trying to say.
Yep.
Not everything you have to have an answer to.
Nope. So true.
So you have to actively listen.
To be able to gain that maturity of understanding.
Yes.
Then, of course, the last level is emotional detachment. That emotional detachment is to be able to take yourself away from a situation because it's at a level where you know you can't handle it. And you don't want to change your own trajectory based on what that situation will do to you. So you are able to detach yourself and still be at peace with yourself. Because not everybody can detach from a situation and be at peace with it.
That's
Sometimes
a hard
you
one
want
to do, especially in from a relationship. It's hard to detach.
Yeah.
I said that's a hard one to do, especially when it comes to intimate relationships.
Yes.
It's hard to detach yourself or family.
But you just know that this person is not in your best interest. And for your own sake, you're like, you know what? I'ma just have to leave this and get away. It takes a lot of maturity to back off. Because firstly, on this side, we see you as weak. We see you as inept. We see you as, oh, she can't do none for herself. He can't do none for himself. You're always backing away. You're a scaredy cat. We call you all kinds of things. But that's detachment, emotional detachment maturity. Not everybody have it. Some people stay in the situation until it drags them down in the mud. And then they want to sit and do the pity party part of it. It is tough. It is really tough. So we got another one from It said emotional maturity refers to ability to understand and manage emotion in a healthy way. Yes, it involves being self-aware, empathetic, and able to regulate emotion effectively. That's the levels we're on today. We're talking about these different levels that people don't really understand. He said in Liberia, emotional maturity may be lacking due to various factors such as societal pressure, limited access to mental health resources, and the impact of traumatic experience like the Civil War. These factors can hinder the development of emotional intelligence and make it challenging for individuals to navigate. Where I beg to differ.
So true.
I beg to differ because it's not the situation you went through that you came out of that can determine that. It's not the lack of resources or the access to resources that build this maturity. It starts from your own upbringing as a child.
But
It's
sometimes,
different in direct.
too. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, when I say it starts from there. When you're growing up, it starts from there. As you go through life, it develops, it builds up. But what's around you help to mold it, but don't determine it. So some people went through the war, but they never lifted a gun because they set their mind, I'm not going to do this. Morally, they made a decision. Even though they had
Yeah.
all the right connections, they had the influence, but they said, I will not do this because morally for me is not right. That's a strong willpower when you're making decision. That's a level of maturity. So not because the people went through war in Liberia or they are lacking this thing. We live in America. So America, we find a sea problem here. So you're telling me society pressure is not here? You're telling me that mental health resources is not here? You're telling me that the people here fought more war than you and I. We did one civil war. These people there's so many different wars, and they're still fighting when they are not physically fighting. That's the hardest war to fight. Everything you see here that we call black and white, racism, that's a war. And people have to fight those wars on a mental level. Racism. And some people can't handle it. So it's not just Liberia, it's the whole world. Any country, any place you go to, you will find these things just because you have humans. So these things are there. It's not Liberia alone. Maybe
It's
because
everywhere.
the way we're doing education
it's
system
everywhere.
in Liberia now, a lot of things is not being taught, and you have to learn it other ways. So then, okay, but no. Then he said also the rise of social media and digital communication has altered the way people interact with one another. So true. So true. This can sometimes lead to a lack of face-to-face communication and emotional connection, which can hinder the development of emotional maturity. True to the word. True to the word. True to the word. But that's the era we are in, the technological era. You can't avoid this one. You have to have good emotional decision making to step over that and go make friends. Just go make friends. That's all we ask you to do. Go make friends. Talk to somebody you haven't talked to. So you see, almost 30 minutes ago, and we only gave you the emotional maturity level, 6 of them. But then there's also a maturity continuous stage. The one where you have the dependency, the independence, and the interdependence. On the dependence level, some people be like, they are so focused on the outside world and see themselves as, I can't do this, I can't do that, I need somebody to help me do this, I need somebody to help me do that. That's dependence. Okay? But you cannot convince them otherwise. They just think somebody has to be there to help them achieve that next level. Then we have the independence level. They are focused on themselves. So because of them being focused on themselves, their destiny is what controls the movement. They're like, I got to be this at all costs. It doesn't matter. I'm going to fight till I achieve. Nobody's responsible for getting me where I want to go. So they put their all into it and they work at it. Then we got the people who are interdependent, who depend on both spectrum, the internal, their self, and the external, the outside world. So these people, most of the time, they find themselves at loggerhead. But what they do understand is that they need this from here and that from the self to put it together to get to where they're going. So now, can you see if somebody is in either one of these continuum, their action and attitude will be different. If I'm in a dependence level and every time I'm coming to my friends, can you please talk to somebody for me so at least I can come to that place over there? You'd be like, I don't understand this. You're too childish. Every time you want somebody to help you like a child. You're this age and that age. No, I'm in a dependence continuum. I don't see it any other way but thinking somebody else has to help me to get to where I'm going. So
And most times those people in the dependent mode, most times they are narcissists. It's all about them.
yep.
So they want others to do things for them.
Yes. So they can, and at the end of the day, they still don't get to where they're going because they were never
No,
planning to go
they
anywhere.
don't.
Anyway,
And
they just
they
needed that to
play the
fulfill
victim
themselves.
role as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
They play the victim role.
Yep. We are inside today. Oh my. Oh my. Look, I was
God.
reading these things. I was like, oh my God. I will never tell anybody again you are immature. I will not. Even if you are projecting only one aspect of it, I'm going to leave you in that aspect and just let you ride. Because in other areas, you might be on top of your spectrum.
On a
And
higher
I just
level,
saw only
yes.
one part, and I ain't saying that to nobody no more. I learned my lesson now. All right. So with that being said, we'll go to another whole bracket of this emotional business. A lot of people quick to jump to conclusions about everything around them. They just formulate their ideas based on what they see. And before you can formulate an idea, you must have all the parts and pieces together to make a sound decision. So if you got only one part and you start talking about it, you will look a fool by the time the other part come into play, because that's the part you disregarded, and you need it all to come into a full circle of what it is that it was. So Jan said, dependency maturity refers to the ability to be self-reliant and independent. It involves taking responsibility for one's actions, making decisions, and meeting one's own need without relying excessively on others. You talking?
I think it's the other way around. I think that is the independent. Because dependency meaning you are depending on the other party to do things for you.
I think you put the wrong one in front of this one. You put dependency instead of independency, because what you're describing is independence. Okay? But anyway, understanding situation and people, that's a whole different level of maturity. And I think sometimes if we just understood this one alone, we'll live a happy life. Understanding situation and people. One person come and tell you a story, but because that person told you it, you take it and you're running with them with it. Be careful. Be careful. Life got a lot of tricky situations, so you got to really think before you join the party. Somebody just tell you, oh, this happened, this happened. That's why it's good to stay out of relationships especially, and stop giving advice. Because if you don't get two sides of that story, you on you. You go fight.
There's always
and the
three
next
sides
thing
to
you
a
know,
story.
You run
You will
in
be
the
left
fight.
there alone. Yes.
Yes. Because you're not going to get your homegirl all the advice. You even your homegirl ain't tell you the mean story. What she did. But because she thinks she wasn't wrong,
She
she's
tells
not
you what
telling
she wants you to hear.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Now, that's the difference between a mature person and an immature person. An immature person would jump on the bandwagon and go with you wherever you say. The mature person would say, no. Give me time. Let me talk to your partner.
Let me
and
find out. Yes.
What it is exactly that is going on. But because we get so emotional, and if this person is our friend, as the selling people say, my paddy, then anything else anybody say, I don't agree. But my friend say
you're biased to that friend.
that is immature. That is just outright immature. Oh, God, help us. Because trust me, I'm jumping on my get bandwagon before I even ask question. But that's immature. You're not supposed to do that. Logical reasoning say ask question before you jump on the bandwagon. Then the other aspect of that is adapting to changes. Some people are just immature about that one. They can't handle changes. And change is inevitable. But growth will take you a long way to happiness. But nope. Why we have to do it this other way? We've been doing it this way for a long time. Why are we changing it? Because we want to grow. Because we want to grow. And this one, we were able to see it clearly in our small little Indiana Liberian community. The adaptation to life changes. We're able to see it.
Yeah.
But if you can, based on challenges, based on experiences, come to a logical conclusion and understanding, you do yourself a lot of good. And it will help you. Because it's good to have an open mind to the things you don't know. Because trust me, even if you don't accept it, you will learn it.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's us. That's what we do. Life is simple when you got your people around you and you're all cool. But if you cannot be the voice of reasoning, you will put all of you in trouble. So, Jan said you are correct. Jumping to conclusions without fully understanding the problem is not a mature approach. It is important to gather all the necessary information and consider multiple perspectives before making judgment or decisions. Maturity also involves being patient, very open-minded, and willing to listen to others. It also requires taking the time to analyze and understand the situation before drawing conclusions. By doing so, individuals can make informed
We are, most of us have problem with that.
Yep.
We are quick to jump to conclusion, you know. We like to judge other people, but we don't like being judged.
Yep. Now, Fasia, let me tell you that part you just said. Do you know it's another level of this maturity, and that's a way of coping in the survival stage of emotional maturity? When people lash out,
Yeah.
when people create drama, they are just trying to cope with survival. Did you know that? I did not understand that part until I read it today, and I like, oh, crazy, knocked me out. So they're not just lashing out because they want to lash out. That's a survival mood.
Yeah.
The
And speaking of that, that's the 4 states. Now that's part of the 4 states of emotional maturation.
Yes.
I mean, this thing, it goes on and on and on and on.
The thing is too deep. It's too deep.
I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
That's why you can't see anybody acting a certain way and you determine you know it all. Why they acting. Look, from now on, I'm going to shut up. I'm just going to look and be thinking, which stage is this? Which level is this? And what is this person doing? I'm telling you, I was reading these things to them. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Somebody is working through their own coping stage, and you on the side looking at them like, why are you so immature?
Yeah.
Why
You know, let me just read the survival mode. Like I said, this is the 4 states of emotional maturation.
Yeah.
So it says the survival mode. This is the fear-based living. Okay.
Yep.
It says in this stage of emotional maturation, life is the battleground,
Yes.
even painful.
Yep.
And yet I feel quite powerless to do anything about it.
Yes.
Events seems bigger than my ability to influence.
Yep.
Because my awareness is limited, I don't recognize the myriad choices for dealing with these events. I feel victimized and simply react.
Yep.
I create
Throw that
drama.
tantrum.
Usually the drama takes one of two
effects
forms.
by lashing out.
Yes. I lash out and become aggressive,
Or I withdraw.
critical, or harsh, or I withdraw by retreating into depression and self-pity.
Yep.
I mean, this is deep.
Yes. Call for the pity
This
party.
is
But it's just
deep.
trying to survive that.
Yeah.
Oh. They're just trying to survive. Yance, especially Liberians, we are very good at jumping in this thing. We're all honest. It is true. You know, it is true. A lot of things. And I think it's because the words and these definitions are not given like that. You just acting and you just growing up and you just doing stuff. So you never know whether it's a stage. You just think it's ordinary.
Yeah, and there's no name to it, and there's no name
it.
for it. But then again, we didn't read. You know, we stumbled upon this and did the research, and it is like, oh my goodness. But let me just read what it says. The way out of survival mode. It says the way out of survival is to learn self-discipline when confronting problems and challenges.
Please.
This requires the ability to delay.
Yep.
This requires the ability to delay gratification and engage in unpleasant efforts and work in order to create a more stable existence. It also means being able to maintain enough emotional composure to respond rather than fly off the handle and react to problems and interpersonal difficulties.
So true.
So wait, let the person land. Don't just jump into a conclusion.
So Master
Take your
said,
time.
you are not mature until you know how to communicate. Apologize, be truthful, and accept accountability without blaming someone else. We do that. This is
True.
a whole different stage in here. That's coping.
Yes.
I read that part today. Oh, shush.
Yes.
There is coping. Because you want to survive. And when you're in that survival mood, you have to do what it takes. But that's not true. That's not true. There is a way out. And Fasia,
You know,
you just
you know,
told
one
all
of
the way
the-
out. No.
Yes, one of the issue is that we think that accepting our wrong or apologizing means weakness, and it is not.
But
It is not
maturity.
weakness at all.
It is
It's
maturity.
maturity.
Oh,
Yes,
it is maturity.
it's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to apologize. It is okay to accept your wrong, accept the criticism, and that's how you grow. That's how you become mature.
And it
For
says
some people,
life may not be
they have
pleasant.
issues.
Life may
No.
not be pleasant.
Not at all.
So if you're waiting for the pleasantries, you will not do it. So Master said that's the Liberian thing. Mama ain't Liberian thing, oh. It's everybody thing. Because the people who hear you think that they not go to school and learn, they learn nothing. They in a seaboat. They see, and you meet them on the job where you go to meet your daily living. That the planet can go out with that nonsense. It's not Liberian thing alone. Eh.
It's everywhere.
We know
It's
it
just
as
more
Liberians.
prevalent. We
because
know our
that's-
people,
that's a group
so
of
that's
people
what
we
we
know.
see. Yes.
Yes, but all know in Liberians alone. That's how they got Karen in America. Karen come from Africa. She come from Liberia. Karen is here, but these are the attributes of Karen. That emotional immaturity. That's what Karen can be displaying. Karen go to the store and see a black man taking things from the shelf. She say, "Why you have to have a card? Put that card down. Go get one for me. Do I live with you for you to send me to get a card for you?" But yes, so it's whew, Lord, give us strength to walk, because this is serious. I mean, today I was reading these things and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And you know, it's so easy to see the fault of everybody else around you than to see yourself.
Then to see yours, yes.
But we make it simple in Liberia. We say when you're pointing one, four coming back to you. But we take it at a different term. I've never seen it really apply to this situation until I was reading about these things today. I say yes. You'll be quick to say this person did this or that person did that, but you will never admit that I did this too that caused maybe this. Fasia, they want here it too much.
Yeah. I mean, another state, the second state
Security.
of emotional maturity is security.
Yep.
And it says majority of people live in the security stage of emotional maturation. Life can seem pretty challenging, even unsafe. So I create a comfort zone in which to feel emotionally safe and avoid big responsibilities.
Yep.
So rather than living to win, I live
I
to
live to
avoid
avoid.
discomfort, rejection, failure, losing. I conform to the way society, my reference group, has taught me to act according to.
Or should have or ought to.
Yes. Wow.
Fasia, this is too deep. Too deep.
It is deep. The conclusion of this, it says security is not a bad life. It just lacks sparks
Sparks.
and deeper personal fulfillment.
Yeah.
The key to moving from security to success is to become proactive. I need to claim my responsibility and authority, discover my passion and courage, step outside of my comfort zone and dream, and then take initiative to make things happen.
Take the leap of faith
Wow.
and fly.
Yes. And it's true. A lot of people, and we don't think that,
No.
we go into our comfort zone and into our shell, and we think, oh, hey, I'm leaving the outside world. I'm not being bothered, so I'm
No, we
okay.
say, I sit down in my little corner.
Well, that's me. I said that's me. I was reading that. I said, wait a minute.
Oh my God.
But
I sit down in my
but
little
I'm a whole
corner.
body. I sit in my little corner, and I like my little corner.
Masa said she was just
So
about to say
it's
that. She said she was just about to say that.
I mean, this is talking about me. More. Yes. For the most part,
Me, I just stay in my little corner, stay under everybody. I don't
You
want
just
no
stay in
trouble.
your corner.
But trouble will come to you
Yeah.
because the life you live is a change.
but however, though, I do have personal
Trying to
fulfillment.
safeguard your little heart. You don't want nobody to hurt you.
Yes, I do have personal fulfillment. So that one, sparks. I'm not one to. I don't live. I'm very very particular about what I do. I would say I'm not adventurous. So maybe that's the spark they're talking about.
Fasia,
What?
leave you alone, all of this thing. This thing here is bigger than you. You just found your own. Leave you alone.
Oh goodness. I'm
All right, go to
telling you.
success now.
I was reading the thing, I started laughing. This is deep. It's whew.
You see your success right there. I'm content with the way things are. I don't want nobody trouble. You keep yourself. I got myself. I'm okay in this corner. Yep. Oh, life is good.
Wow. So I mean this is an eye opener.
Baby, eye opener is an understatement.
Yes.
I read these things this day. I'm like, wow. I would never, ever in my life open my mouth and tell anybody you're immature anymore. I won't do that because it's just too deep.
No, but I think we need to tell them if they're
maybe
acting
that's
so
just
this
one
way.
aspect
It's
you're
just a
judging it
constructive
from.
criticism.
No, Fasia, it may be
Yes.
just one aspect. It's just like a smart student. You got a student in your class that make A's in 5 subjects. and make a D in one subject, they're struggling with math. All the other subject they can deal with it. Will you say they are not smart or clever because they can't do math? No.
No, I
You would
wouldn't.
just
I
look
wouldn't
at
say
math as a
that, but
challenge
I would
to
talk
them.
to them and see what is the issue. Why is it that they're not getting this? How can we work to make it better? Because if you don't talk through it, you won't be able to get through it.
And maybe it's just a mental thing to them. Math is hard. They've said it, and now they
That's
believe
it. And
it,
then
and now
once you
they're
say
acting on
that,
it.
you clamp down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But that doesn't determine if their abilities, right? They're still a smart student, but they are challenged in math.
Right.
That's the same way with maturity.
Exactly.
If somebody is struggling in one area, you can't come out of just because of that area and say you are immature. Point out the directing, what's causing the immaturity, than to say you are immature. Because when you say you are immature, it's too big an umbrella. And you're not covering every aspect. You're not being fair to that person.
Yeah, point
If
out
it's
what
just
in
one
what
area.
like you said, what area they're being immature in.
Yeah, so you don't say you are immature. You don't just say it like that. You say you being immature about the way you're thinking about this. Let it be specific.
Exactly.
Yeah. But if you just
Exactly.
say you're
Yes.
too childish, you're too immature, you left a whole big bundle hanging, and maybe that ain't cover nothing of what it is for that person. It's just one little piece that they are immature with, and maybe it's the way they.
But sometimes they're just
situation.
immature in everything.
Yeah, you just put it in because you're
They're just
immature.
immature in
Yeah, and whereby that just one aspect, the way
everything.
they take information and process it, So I ain't gonna say that to nobody, like that. I'm not gonna say you are immature. I'm not gonna say it like that. I'm gonna look for the exact thing that you be immature about, and say you be immature about the way you're thinking about this, the way you're acting about this situation, or the way you're feeling about this situation. So that you can be able to handle that aspect of it. Because maybe you're feeling that way about what I said, and that's not true of you, and it's upsetting. So now you're upset. But it's just a feeling, So
Yeah.
I would just go to the right point. I'm not going to put in the umbrella no more. Because the umbrella is too big. It's too big.
So I wrote down some signs of maturity, even though we are talking about emotional maturity, but I wrote down some signs that shows that you are mature. One that says small talk no longer excites you.
Yep.
Number two, sleep is better than a Friday night out.
We know you're getting older in age. That age affecting, I wonder. And you have
Number
prioritized
three,
in your life.
you
What's
forgive.
important?
Yes. Number three, you forgive more.
Yeah.
Number four, you become more open-minded. 5, you respect differences. 6, you don't force love. That's a big one. 7, you accept heartache.
Bougie. You
8,
gonna love me.
you don't judge.
Yep.
8, you don't judge easily. 9, you sometimes prefer to be silent than to engage in a nonsense fight. And number
Nonsense,
10,
right?
yes. Number 10, your happiness does not depend on people, but on your inner self.
Yep.
These, yeah.
Fasia?
So those are signs that you are mature or that you are showing maturity.
I have just resolved that this topic is too big to take one word and attach it to anybody. I ain't doing that part no more. We will go to whatever the problem is and deal with the problem in itself, not make
That's
it an
it.
umbrella case.
Yes. Me, I'm going to
Pastor
go back
said, love should
and
be
read.
mutual. Man, love not mutual.
Yes.
If the papa get money and you get no money, not mutual. You there for that money. No mutual.
Not everybody. Not everybody. I beg to differ. No.
Yeah. Yes. If you 19-year-old and your boyfriend is 50-year-old, what's the mutual understanding there? Okay, it's a bargain
Well, he
system.
could
I
be
take
50
that.
and
It's a bargain system. Okay, no problem. You're bargaining it out. You give me this, I give you that. Let's go.
oh Lord. I go back and go read on my survival stage
Man,
of emotional maturity. Huh. No, not survival, security. Security.
security.
Security stage. The stage that I fit in. I'm going to read more
And you
about
know,
it.
most time we are in a survival mood. We stay in a survival mood. You know how would I just say, hey, girl, I'm going on a hustle. When you're going to work, you're going to do something because you know it's something that you want to do to better yourself. You always put yourself in that hustle mood. I'm going to clock again, go hustle. And that's a survival mode.
Yeah, it is. It is. So what's to our audience? What's your thought about maturity? What level do you think you are? Do you feel as though you are mature, or do you think you still have growth to do? Let us know.
I know, please, let us know because this is serious. This is just too much stuff. Yep, it's a lot, and because in Liberia we never put nothing names to nothing. We just know it, but we don't know the name. We don't know how it works. We don't know how it's supposed to operate. We just keep going, and at the end of the day, that can be a hindrance to you and put a barrier for you without even knowing it.
But so I think that's where Nyan was coming from. Yeah. You know, when he said resources, I think that's where he was coming from. Yeah. There's
so
lack of resources
there's always
because
room for improvement. True to the word. But
always, Albert, always.
It always starts with recognition. You gotta recognize where you are before you look for the help you need. But some of us stay in denial mood. That's another survival mood. You just say, me pa nana mi o, and you take yourself out of the equation so you can fit in. But you with the things that come in, you can it hitting you because you feel that this one could be me, but you know, and you put yourself back out again until your mind become open to the acceptance of where you are. You will not make that change. You will not.
True.
And I think sometimes if you just let yourself go for the sake of letting yourself go, just to find out what could or couldn't, it'll be very nice. Olivia said, true, you need to be truthful with yourself to progress. Yes. That's your best bet. You can lie to all the people, but I'm always saying you can fool all the people all the time, but you can't even fool yourself.
You can't fool yourself.
Knows you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Fasia, this 1 year today is on a different level and it's too deep. So
next week we're gonna dive into
very much mature because I don't keep speech anymore. I forgive easily and I avoid people. I like that description. Because it fall all into immature and mature and all at the same time. You know? Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, goodness gracious.
This is
well, folks, time has been far spent.
I know. She said she just
next week we'll talk about what? Are we talking about physical maturity next week or what?
Yeah, physical next week.
Okay.
Well, Master, you sure got a laugh on because that was a good one. Yes, but yeah. Oh my God. This is just, for me, it's just a lot to ponder over. And seeing it written out in black and white and don't think that you're making it up in your head is very important. Because a lot of times we feel and know certain things, but because we don't see it in black and white, we're like, oh, maybe that me feeling this way. Maybe that me thinking this way. But it is today. It does really exist.
Yeah, at least we have a reference now to go by, you know.
Yes. Yes. It doesn't matter what you are going through.
or what you've been through.
Thank
Thank
God,
God,
it is fabulous.
it's fabulous.
Oh my
And
goodness.
just to make reference that most of these were taken from Roger K. Allen,
Roger Allen.
his research project. So we don't want to take credit for it.
I can imagine when he was going through this research. Oh my goodness. I bet he shocked his own
I
self
know.
because he found out a lot of things he thought he knew, but he didn't know.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
God is a good God. We'll continue to make room for improvement so we can learn. Because we all want to be mature.
That's all we can do.
We all
Be
want to be
open-minded.
mature.
Don't be too quick to judge.
Yeah. Lord, give us strength. Thanks to all the viewers and participants for tonight, Jan and Massa and
Yes.
Albert. You did a good job, Olivia. You did a
Olivia,
good
thank you
job.
so much.
We like this. We like it. My sound,
We like the interaction. Yes.
yeah, the interaction is good because you get to hear a lot more that you thought you didn't know from somebody who's right in your area telling you something like you heard that. So thank you all so much for tonight. And next week we look forward to the physical part because most times we base everything from the physical. We jump straight from the physical and go. If you're too mature as a young child, they say you old a heart.
Your old
this
soul.
person think like an old soul. That's maturity. When you're able to think and make that sound decision, it's just one aspect of it. Because you're mature in one area doesn't mean you are fully mature. There are other areas you are immature in. So before you determine that somebody is immature and you are mature, look at all the corners. And probably you will find
And just to shed light that there's no way you can have all of those
you can't.
levels
You on your own. Unless you need
under your
Jesus,
belt.
so.
No. We're all imperfectly perfect. So please don't feel somehow if
Yeah.
you fit into one aspect of it and you're immature in that aspect. As long as you realize it and you make room to grow, that's all that matters.
Yes, and once you recognize it and say, okay, this is where I was immature at, I'm going to work on it and handle it differently, then you will be mature. Not
I don't
just
know if I
say,
can get rid of my whole body,
staying in the corner,
security mode.
stay in the corner.
Because I like it.
Yeah. And
But we'll try.
Fasia,
We'll try.
a lot of the times, I think what happens is certain things, when it happened to you, it depends who is coming from to you before it makes an impact on some people. If a crazy man walking in the street just see me and say, look at your ugly self, you think I'll care? It will not shake me. But if my husband was to walk in the house and say, look at your ugly self,
I think it would show more immaturity on your part to get mad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But that same thing that person from outside told me, I didn't get mad. But let me come home and my husband say it to me, I will get mad. You see what I mean? Because who is it coming from?
Human.
Yeah. Man, this thing is too deep for my liking. It's too deep. So we just got to keep working on ourselves every day. You find the one that's not good and it's not promoting or helping you. You move it, you place something there. Don't leave the space open because something else will get in that space. So you find the opposite of that thing that makes it work and place it there and work on it. It's just a matter of time and you'll be right where you want to be. So thank you for watching this evening. Thank you for joining us. It has been awesome. Have a good night. And always remember,
and please,
it doesn't matter what you're going through.
Or what you have been through. Thank God.
God
it's fabulous.
Good night. Have a
Please
good
be
evening.
safe this weekend. The weather is bad. Drive safely. Take your time. Don't speed.
Yes.
Don't accelerate too quickly when you stop at the red light to go on the green light.
Because if you're not careful,
Trust me,
your
I've talked
tires will
from
start
experience.
spinning you. Yep. Yep.
Yes.
And if you late, you late. So what? You late.
It's better to be
Hopefully
late
it's not
in
your
one
sixth
piece.
occurrence.
Yes.
All right. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.